be a great time here tonight, and I hope that you're really excited. So what cabinet is this? So I was watching a conference, and they talked about the classroom drawers. Now, you know the classroom drawers, the rainbow drawers that we use in a classroom. I got the idea, and I thought, wonder what cabinets we all have in our classrooms and in our workplaces that we don't know we have. Okay? And I hope, and I think it's going to be a really good keynote. And I hope that not just because I'm doing this keynote, just because I think you're going to get really a lot of encouragement from this. And so let's just go ahead and start with, if the clicker's going to work. Next slide, please.
Do you have it up?
Next slide, please. The supply cabinet. The supply cabinet. The supply cabinet is filled with chaos and creativity. Now, in the supply cabinet, we find what we need. Can I tell you what we need, my friends? Each other. We need each other when we need it the most. You may say, Mr. Max, why is this coming up at a literacy conference? Because there's a lot of people that need each other. Right? Some of you need each other. Let me tell you a story. I told it last night. I'll go ahead and tell it again. Last summer at our church camp, we were praying that God would have me find my people at my new second school. We prayed and prayed and prayed. We had other people praying that I would find my people at my other school. Well, the first 2 weeks of school, I called my best friend in the car crying, and I said, I can't do it. It's a zoo. I can't do it. There's people all over the place they're all over the place. I can't do this chaos every day. Listen, can I give you some advice? If you're new to a high school, don't walk in the hallways during class change. Not a good idea.
How do you get to class?
Let me tell you why I did. If you don't have to get out in the hallways during class change, run and hide in a teacher's classroom. That is how I had, because I'm telling you, it can get really chaotic. And then there's people that may be bigger than me, that then they run me over, then I go, way! And then I just go, way! And then I go flying around, and then we're all singing, I'll fly away. And then it's just bad. So, then,
You're too loud.
Here's the thing. Let me tell you something. We need each other. In those weeks, I have the people that I trusted. Do you have the people that you trusted? In the supply cabinet, we have the markers and the ink pens. I've got 1 million of them. Ain't been counted. I think I got 42,000 ink pens at my house. Like, we got what we need, but we find what we need. The planning cabinets, where dreams begin, and where we think our plans are unicorns and rainbows and sunshine and
Unicorns.
lollipops and rainbows. Now, let me tell you something. This is my little planner, and this is my little planner, and here's what I do in this planner. This planner is where I put all of the important dates. Now, here's what I do. I have an online calendar on my phone that syncs to all of my devices. If you ask, yes, it's Google, and yes, it's Google. Some of my staff just went, oh no, Microsoft's better. We'll have a debate about that another day. We just don't have time for that. Okay. Where dreams begin. Listen, I told y'all last night. When I heard I was going to 2 schools, I thought I had met the achievement of what some of y'all get to experience on a daily basis called retirement. Now some of y'all are laughing right now because y'all think he wanted to retire guess I did want to retire. When I found out I was going to high school, I was like, nope, I retire. I retire. But I knew I had to be like, we talked about this, we sang the song, Bring It All to Him. I have to bring.
Miss South said she was buckled up with her back brace. And I said, buckle up.
Good.
Buckle up, Buttercup.
Bring it all to Jesus. That's what I had to do in those weeks. We talked about a story to tell. We all got one. Last night we talked about how don't be ashamed of it. Because we have what we need. The planning cabinet is where dreams begin. Sometimes we open this cabinet when we have new ideas. So sometimes I don't like to sleep. I don't like to sleep. If you ask my family members, I did not even sleep when I was a baby. True story. I did not sleep when I was a baby. I just did not. And I tell some of the students that at some of my schools, and they're like, "What?" They're confused. Now I hate sleep. I hate sleep. And when I wake up, I got all these ideas. So sometimes with the help of me waking up in the middle of the night and Pinterest, I get a lot of ideas, like that hanger experiment that purple hanger and balloon experiment that nobody understood, right? Yeah.
No, had nothing to do with literacy.
The planning cabinet is where dreams begin. The emotional cabinet,
Where the heart lives, is there
where the heart lives.
Is there no pictures to go with this?
This is
Is there no pictures there?
where we find the strength from who we work with.
There's no pictures.
There will be. Where we find the strength from our students if we teach and who we work with. Let me tell you a story.
The pacing is making it easy.
This emotional cabinet is filled with notes from our students. You're the best teacher ever. The drawings of Mr. Max having 5 arms like some AI images make. Yeah. Check your AI images before you post them on Facebook because they may have you have 3 arms. Just saying. Ask me how I know. All right. Filled with notes from students. And student gifts. Like happy eating brownies. True story, at my main school, we had one year, we had centipedes all over the kindergarten pond. Now, let me tell you the story about this. We had a little lovely 5-year-old go to the bathroom. Coming the hallway, his hands was like this. And his teacher said, open your hand. Half of a centipede. You want to guess where the next story of this story goes? This lovely 5-year-old ate the centipede. True story. This 5-year-old ate
Just
the
half
centipede.
of it.
Just half of it.
Was it one of your kids?
But who knows
No. I'm not so sure.
where the heart lives?
I don't
It's the
think he really
memories.
ate it.
It's the memories that we make with our students. Like 2 years ago, I went on a trip. 2 school years ago, I went on a trip with Gray Elementary 8th grade. We all went to Charleston. Now, let me just tell you something. If anybody's out there watching it from Gray Elementary, it took me a really good confidence to go on that trip. I about didn't go because I was like, 3 days overnight with a bunch of humans that are the same age as me and are crazy and jump on the walls. No.
You don't like humans?
I like humans, but sometimes I just can't do overnight things. Okay. I like vacations because it's me and family, but then after that, no. But I survived this.
We have it on recording that he likes vacations.
Yes,
But-
we do.
No, I don't think so.
Let me tell you this. The emotional cabinet is where the heart lives. Some of you got a story to tell, but you're afraid what people's going to think. Can I be honest with you today? Don't be afraid what people's going to say about your story. Do you know why? Do you know why it's important for you to not be afraid to tell your story? Because your story is yours. Your story is yours today. The emotional cabinet is where the heart lives.
One moment.
The empty cabinet. Now, this is a cabinet that we don't talk about a lot. Because some of us are ashamed of this cabinet. When you feel like you have nothing left. You've done it all. You just don't think you can do it. My friends, you don't have to open that empty cabinet. You don't have to open that empty cabinet. Let me tell you the story. So when I found out I was going to be, last summer, we had an amazing VBS, we had an amazing church camp, we had an amazing building literacy conference. Me and Mom watched the conference online. We were all pumped up for the upcoming school year. But then, first day of school rolled around. And me, my first day in my new position at a high school, I thought, this is going to be a disaster. And all that energy I had, gone. Because you know why? I thought nobody cared about somebody that's different like me. Let me be honest with you tonight. I have this question for you. What is your impact? What is your impact? You never know how and who you will impact. Those first weeks of the school year, I had nothing left. I thought, how could I do this again and again and again? How am I going to make it to the next school year? I thought nobody cared at that school. But then, I found the people I needed. Shout out. I found the people I needed so that I could be successful. I was discouraged. I thought, nope. I should go to my main school full time because nobody cares. Then I had to realize that I needed to find my people at that place. And I knew that something had changed. So, what's your impact? Those people in those schools. I'm putting more literacy knowledge in here because I feel like people's getting literacy knowledge and don't even know it. Those people at those schools, they may not know the impact, but they sure made the impact. My friends, I ask you today, how can you be the impact? Listen, God is the God of the process and God is the God of the product. I had to realize that. When I had an empty cabinet, I had to realize that. When I had an empty cabinet and thought, nah, these students don't care. No one at that place cares. I'm done. I had to realize I was impacted, and people, the notes you would get, we love Mr. Max. We love Mr. Max. Because I knew I was being impacted, but I didn't think I was. What's your impact? The show-up cabinet. In this cabinet we learn, in this cabinet we learn that support is a verb. Support is a verb. Let me tell you something, Aunt B. When I went to those weeks in that new second school I was at, I thought Apraxia Awareness Day will tell if they actually care for me. Can I tell you something about this picture of me? Taken by one of my
Taken.
more like friends and students
Where's that
Where is that?
at that second school at yearbook orientation day.
What's yearbook orientation? I never
Not
heard
yearbook
of that.
orientation, sorry. Yearbook pickup day.
That was Apraxia Day.
That was Apraxia Awareness Day. And that's when all the school was in blue. If you don't get anything from this conference, I tell you this. Be the person that shows up. If you're not the person that shows up, somebody else will, and you won't want them to. You'll want to be the one to show up for them. Who do you show up for? Who do you show up for? Hey, let me make it even deeper. How do you make it matter for the people that you support? I know of a lot of people that have told me, said, Mr. Max, people say they support me, they don't make me matter. Don't be that person. Make your family matter. Make your co-workers matter. Make your job matter. Make your church matter. I don't know why this microphone keeps going in and out. Make your people matter. If you don't make your people matter, somebody else will. And I wouldn't encourage it. I'd rather do it myself. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you rather make it matter for you so that you would be satisfied that you helped them to their full potential? Be the person that shows up, because support is a verb. Support is a verb. Are you being supported? That's my question to you for this cabinet. Who do you show up for? How do you show up? How do you show up for your people? Show up for your people. Open that show up cabinet for your people. Open the cabinet that you open the. Some of us, if us teachers, we've opened all these cabinets this year. You know why? Because sometimes we get discouraged. How can you open the show up cabinet for others and for your people and for those people? Because let me tell you something. They need you, like we talked about with the supply cabinet. They need you, you need them, we need each other, they need you, and you support them. We could sit here in hours, me talking about the show up cabinet. You know what show up looks like? You getting your nasty pride to the trash can. And you say, I will show up for my people. You know why I say that tonight? There's people that say, nah, I don't care about special needs. Don't get me started. Don't even. Matter of fact. Now, if you say, I said this last night, I'll say it again. You cannot say you are a Christian on your way to heaven and make fun of somebody that God's made different than you. Amen? Hello?
You don't make fun
Here's
of
why.
anyone.
You don't make fun of anybody, but especially somebody God's made different than you. You don't do it.
Everybody's different.
The Bible says that. The Bible says that. We don't have time to get into it. We just don't. Show up for your people. If you don't show up for your people, other people will do it for you. I would hate for somebody to say, you were too busy to show up for me. Let that sink in. Imagine somebody calling you, you were busy doing something else, they needed you the most, and they said, I'm sorry, you were too busy for me. Let your testimony and your story be known. And show up for your people. The magic cabinet. Joy on standby. Now with the magic cabinet, I think we need some.
Wow.
Magician music. Joy on standby. Can I tell you something this evening? Saturday, July the 18th, 2026 could change your life here at the Read Along Friends Building Literacy Conference. Saturday, July 18th, 2026 could change your life here at a literacy conference because you are the one that says, I realize now my story is making a difference. I have a story to tell. My story's making a difference. I don't care what anybody else says. I'm going to do it because that's what the Bible commands. We don't have time to get into that part. There's a lot. I could do a whole session on that part about how caring for special needs people because that's what the Bible commands. No, don't get me started. Because your story is making a difference. If you're in a classroom, if you're teaching, your classroom's making a difference. Talked about the empty cabinet session just a minute ago. Who are you impacting? Who are you impacting? Who are you impacting?